Good morning, students. This is Professor Kiran Poddar, Angadi Institute of Technology and Management, Belagavi. Today, we are going to discuss application part of partial differential equation, that is, derivation of one-dimensional wave equation. First, we derive one-dimensional wave equation. Then, after getting the result, that result will be utilized to get a solution from various examples by using variable separable method. So first we go with the statement given. What it says: consider a flexible string tightly stretched between two fixed points at a distance L. Means what? Suppose if we take a string which is tightly stretched between 2 points. For example, if I take the string here, then we can say there are 2 points and the string is tightly stretched between these 2 points and its distance will be taken as L. Then rho will be the mass per unit length of the string. Means what? What kind of string we have taken and what is its thickness and everything that comes under mass. And what length we take, it depends, because for example if we take particular length string, if you take of 1 meter and the same thickness length thickness string if you take of 2 meters, then automatically mass differs. Therefore mass per unit length of the string is dependent on the thickness of the string as well as the length of the string. Therefore that will be taken as rho, and the distance comes along with L, and then we will be taking it as the rho will be the mass per unit length with respect to L. Then we assume few assumptions here. What are those assumptions? The tension T of the string is remain same throughout. Means what? The tension T of the string is same throughout. Means what? Whatever the tension is applicable here in first point, that is initial point, from here to till end, the same type of tension will be maintained. That is the meaning. Next, the effect of the gravity can be ignored due to large tension. Whenever we take one string and when it is tightly stretched, then automatically we can see gravitational force by the ground, that is earth, it won't keep any influence on it, because whenever the string is loosely fixed between 2 points, automatically it starts falling down towards the earth because of gravitational force. But when it is stretched tightly between 2 points, then the gravity can be ignored. Means there will be no influence of gravitational force on string. Third is, the motion of the string is a small transverse vibration. Motion of the string means what? Whenever you put some load or some disturbance on the tightly stretched string here, then it starts vibrating. When it starts vibrating, automatically what we can say, the motion will be there it comes in terms of vibrations, the transverse vibrations. The best example for this is a string of a guitar. You can see in a string of the guitar, the string will be fixed between 2 points and it will be tightly stretched. The distance is L and the thickness of that guitar string will be rho. And when it is tightly stretched between 2 points, then the tension will be distributed throughout of that guitar string. Then effect of the gravitational force will be ignored due to large tension. You can see in a guitar string, the string doesn't touch a wooden piece. It will maintain its distance from wooden piece because of tightly stretched. Means there is no gravitational force. If it won't follow this, then there will be no sound from that string. If you want to get a pleasant sound from guitar string, it should be tightly stretched. Then the motion of the guitar string, you can see whenever we start playing a guitar, then automatically it vibrates. That is the meaning of this. Then how to derive this? This is the statement. Then how to derive this derivation and how to get a result? Let us see. Very first what I do, this side I'll take a diagram of that. Okay, So this is x-axis and this is y-axis we take. This is the origin O. What it says, let us consider the force acting on a small element AB we take. Means what? If we take, this is the string. For example, this is one point and this is other point. If I take, this is a point A and this is a point B, and we are considering the string which is tightly stretched between A and B of the length delta x, because towards x-axis we are taking. Means what? If we take this distance is delta x. Of course it is a length L, but it is with respect to x-axis we are taking, so the distance will be taken as delta x. This is point A and this is point B. Next, let T1 and T2 be the tension at a point A and B. Means whatever tension we take here, this is T1, and whatever tension is considered here, that is T2. And of course when it is fixed between 2 points and it is stretched between 2 points, so automatically it will move upward to B and downward towards A. Fine. Therefore T1 and T2 will be the tensions at a point A and B. Since there is no motion in horizontal direction. Why? Because there is no motion in horizontal direction. Why? What is the reason? This is vertical, this is horizontal. Then horizontally it won't move because it is towards A, T1, towards B, T2. It is stretched between these 2 points. Then there is no question of movement in horizontal direction. Okay. Therefore, the components, what happens when there will be no movement in horizontal direction, these components T1 and T2 must cancel each other. Means what? Amount of stretch on one side and other side will remain same. You can see the tug of war event. When tug of war event, both the teams starts putting same effort and same strength is applied on that, you can see none of the team is going to win or none of the team is going to lose in that one. So the pressure or the force applied from both the teams will remain same, means equal amount. Therefore that will get cancelled. Therefore how do you write this? We write this as T1 into cos alpha is equal to T2 into cos beta, which will remain same. Therefore we take it as T and we call it as equation number 1. Then let us see what is the meaning of alpha and beta here, where alpha and beta are the angles made by tension T1 and tension T2 with horizontal direction. Okay. So alpha comes here. This will be the angle alpha. You can see this angle alpha and this will be the angle beta. Fine. Then vertical components. This is all about horizontal component. Now we see the vertical component. Vertical component will be seen. Vertical component of tensions T1 sine alpha and T2 sine beta. Okay. Horizontally, no problem. Equal pressure, everything remains same. But when we take vertical, that time we take T1 sine alpha and T2 sine beta. But one thing to be observed here, when these tensions are considered T1 and T2, T1 will move upward in the upward direction. Sorry, T2 will move in upward direction, and T1 will move in in downward direction with respect to A. Therefore, this T1 will be taken as minus. Why it is minus? Because where this negative sign indicates it is because of T1 is directed downward. Understood? Downwards means what? Directed downwards. Because of that, it is a downward direction. Because of that, T1 will be taken negative. Because afterwards you can see it is going to enter negative domain. Fine. So it is negative direction. Therefore, hence, the resultant force of this, let us see what happens. The resultant force acting vertically upward, downward we have taken, that is minus, then upward what it will be, that is given by upward. Let us see, upward means what? T2 sine beta, T2 sine beta, then minus downward direction, whatever it is, minus T1 sine alpha. Fine. So this is the concept. Then let us apply one important theorem, or else we can see the important rule, which is nothing but Newton's second law of motion. What Newton's second law of motion says? Newton's second law of motion says force is equal to mass into acceleration. We know this. Force is nothing but product of mass and acceleration. In this, what is force? Force is this. The resultant force acting vertically upward is this. So this becomes a force here. Fine. Therefore, force is equal to T2 into sine beta minus T1 into sine alpha, which is equal to mass. What is mass? Here the mass is what? The mass is nothing but rho. But that rho will be with respect to length, because we know that rho be the mass per unit length. Even we need to take care of this unit length, that is delta x. Therefore, mass will be treated as rho into delta x. Fine. This into acceleration. Now we all know, we studied vector concepts, we know what is acceleration, velocity and acceleration. Velocity is nothing but rate of change of displacement. Acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. Okay. As per mathematics, we can see if r is a vector, position vector, then if you differentiate that position vector with respect to that time t, then we get first order derivative, which is nothing but velocity. If you differentiate that derivative once again with respect to t, then we will be getting second order derivative, that is nothing but dou square u by dou t square. That will be called as acceleration. It is u and t, because here we consider u will be a function and t will be a variable, that is t is nothing but a time here. Fine. So this is the thing. Here you can see rho into delta x be the mass of element AB, the distance AB. It is a mass between the point A and B. Fine. And second order derivative, partial derivative, is nothing but that is actually with respect to x-axis, because we are taking it with respect to x-axis, but that is taken with respect to t here, because t is a time and that is the variable, independent variable in this case. Fine. Then let us take its continuation part, how it will continue. We can see this result as per second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion. It comes like, the result comes like T2 sin beta minus T1 sin alpha is equal to rho into delta x of dou square u by dou t square. So divide this equation, divide this equation throughout by t. T is nothing but tension, capital T, that is a tension. Means what we do, we divide this equation, we'll give some number to this equation, I call it as equation number 2. Okay, we divide this equation number 2 with by a tension T throughout the equation. Then this whole equation becomes, we can see this equation, this whole equation becomes T2 into sin beta divided by T minus T1 into sin alpha divided by T, that is equal to rho into delta x divided by T into dou square u by dou t square. Okay, let us call it as equation number 3. Then in this equation we can see, again I'll go back to equation number 1, what we have discussed, which is nothing but the components, horizontal motion. T1 cos alpha is equal to T2 cos beta. Okay, so T1 cos alpha equal to T2 cos beta is nothing but a T, because the tension applied horizontally from both the ends are same, therefore they cancel each other. So let us modify this equation like, so we here understood, it is understood that T1 cos alpha is equal to T. Okay, T2 cos beta is equal to T. Therefore T1 cos alpha is equal to T means we can take it as, from equation number 1 we can take it as T1 divided by T is nothing but 1 divided by cos alpha. Fine. Similarly T2 divided by T is equal to 1 divided by cos beta. This set I'll call it as equation number 4. Fine. What was that equation number 1? Equation number 1 was this. So T1 cos alpha is equal to T. Therefore what we have taken here, T1 divided by T, this T comes to other end and this cos goes to the RHS. So it becomes 1 divided by cos alpha. So let us use equation number 4 in equation number 3. If we use this result here, then what happens? T1 divided by T is equal to 1 by cos alpha. T2 divided by T is equal to 1 by cos beta. Therefore T2 divided by T will be replaced by 1 by cos beta. So in the numerator sin beta is there, that will be divided by cos beta. Minus, similarly T1 divided by T is nothing but 1 by cos alpha. Therefore it becomes sin alpha divided by cos alpha, which is equal to rho divided by T into delta x into dou square u by dou t square. Fine. We know that sin beta by cos beta is nothing but tan beta. Similarly it is tan alpha, that is equal to rho by T into delta x into dou square u by dou t square. Fine. We call this as equation number 5. Therefore, but we know that what is the meaning of tan alpha and tan beta. We know that tan beta and tan alpha are what? They represent slope of the tangent. Slope of the tangent at B of x plus delta x and a of x respectively. How come? Let us see here. Tan beta. What is tan beta? This is a tangent drawn. If you take this is a tangent drawn at point A, this will be a tangent at x. When this it is taken at point B, this will be a tangent at x plus this distance, that is delta x. Therefore, tan B will be treated as a slope of the tangent at a point delta B of x plus delta x, and tan alpha will be treated as a slope of a tangent at a of x. These are called as tangents, and we know that tangent is nothing but, usually we take tangent is equal to dy by dx. That is the physical significance of a tangent, dy by dx. But here, since it is a partial derivative, so here we will be taking it as dou u by dou x at x plus delta x, and tan alpha will be, it is nothing but slope of the tangent, that will be represented by dou u by dou x but at x. Fine. Therefore, equation number 5 becomes, if you substitute these values, tan beta is nothing but dou u by dou x at b x plus delta x minus tan alpha is dou u by dou x of at a at x, which is equal to rho by t into delta x dou square u by dou t square. Fine. Now we do one thing. We'll divide this equation number 5 will be divided throughout by delta x. Okay, delta x. Then what we get? We get dou u by dou x at x plus delta x minus dou u by dou x at x divided by delta x 1, which is equal to rho by t into delta x into dou square u by dou t square divided by delta x. This side delta x get cancelled. Then what I do, we apply limit as delta x tends to 0. Here delta x get cancelled. There is no question of applying limit here. Here still delta x is there. Therefore, we apply limit to LHS. Then it becomes limit as delta x tends to 0 of dou u by dou x at x plus delta x minus dou u by dou x at x divided by delta x, which is equal to rho by t into dou square u by dou t square. There is no question of applying limit on other end because there is no delta x term here. Fine. So this is the case. But we all know the basic definition of partial derivatives. Basic definition of partial derivative, what it says, as per the basic definition, by the definition of partial derivative, what it says, usually partial derivative definition is something like this. Let me say, we say applying limit as delta x tends to 0 of f of x plus delta x comma y minus f of x comma y divided by delta x. This we have studied. This is a basic part of calculus. This will be taken as, you can see, this is a function and the increment is given to x. Fine, increment is given to x. And this function, if I take, instead of this, if I take it is u, then it will be taken as dou u by dou x. Limit as delta x tends to 0 of u of x comma delta u of x comma y plus delta y minus u of x comma y divided by delta y if it is. Then you can say this is nothing but dou u by dou y. But one thing we need to observe. Here the increment is given or increment is not given to the function. but that it is related to a function. But in this case, it is not just a function, it is a derivative. It is a derivative. You can see it is already a first order derivative. And since previously in the basic definition it is a function, that function has converted into first order derivative. But since it is a first order derivative, so this will be converted into second order derivative by definition. Therefore it is dou square u by dou x square is equal to rho by t into dou square u by dou t square. Fine. Therefore dou square u by dou t square is equal to dou square u by dou t square equal to, this term will go to LHS, then it becomes t by rho dou square u by dou x square. Here let us take t by rho. T is a tension and rho is a density. Fine. That will be taken as c square, a constant. Therefore this equation becomes, now this equation will be treated as, this will be taken as dou square u by dou t square is equal to c square into dou square u by dou x square. Fine. Or in simple word we take it as utt is equal to c square ux x. So this is represented as the one dimensional wave equation. This is called as one dimensional wave equation. What is one dimensional wave equation? Dou square u by dou t square is equal to c square dou square u by dou x square, or utt is equal to c square uxx. Thank you.